Albion Online.
Hello and welcome to our next dev talk for the Wild Blood update coming to Albion Online.
Okay.
In today's video, I want to go in depth with Awakened Weapons, a new item modification feature
Shiny
at the
stuff.
Artifact Foundry. Players can take any of their 0.4 enchanted weapons to the Foundry.
Okay, so one big thing about the Awakened Weapons, it has to be 0.4. So you cannot awaken just any items. You cannot awaken like a 4.0 item and call it legendary. It has to be 0.4. So that's like the first thing about the legendary
Awaken
items.
them at a cost of siphoned energy, avalonian energy, and a silver fee.
Okay, let me just go back there. So it has a cost of silver, siphoned energy, and avalonian energy. For the longest time, avalonian energies have not been used really for anything significant in this game. So an effect of this change is that avalonian energies are definitely going to skyrocket in terms of price because they're not really introducing another way of getting avalonian energies. So yeah, if you want to bag some now and sell it later, that'd be a good idea.
At a cost of siphoned energy, avalonian energy, and a silver fee. The exact cost will depend on the tier of the item.
There you go. So the exact cost of the fee and the siphoned energies and avalonian energies will definitely depend if it's like 8.4, 7.4, 6.4, or like 4.4.
Once awakened, the weapon is attuned to the player and can begin to earn attunement points. These points are earned whenever you gain fame for slaying creatures. However, for weapons of tier 6 and higher, attunement can only be earned in full loot PvP zones.
Okay, so tier 6 or higher can only be attuned in full loot PvP zones. Now, that is a little bit vague in my opinion because full loot PvP is tier 6. Full loot PvP starts at tier 6, so red zones, right? Red zones, black zones, full loot PvP, tier 6. Right? So, does that mean can you use a 6.4 item, go to the mist, or actually the roads, which can be like tier 4, has tier 4 mobs, technically still a full loot PvP zone. Can you then take tier 6 items, go to a tier 4 zone in the mist, and level up your attunement for that weapon? Or does it require, because in the past they said it needs to be the same tier as your weapon. So we thought that awakening an 8.4 weapon can only be leveled up using tier 8 mobs. Now, what Robin is saying is tier 6 and higher can only be leveled up in full loot PvP. So, does that mean you awaken an 8.4 item, go to a tier 5 black zone, level up, you can level that up there? Is that what they're saying here? Because that kind of OP if you think about it, because you're not really restricted now to kill tier 8 mobs for a tier 8.4 awakened weapon. You can basically fame farm in tier 5, tier 6, obviously lower fame, but probably like safer compared to just limiting it to tier 8 weapon for tier 8 mob, tier 7 weapon for tier 7 mob, and higher, right? Tier 6 mob or tier 6 item will be for tier 6 mobs and higher. Or it seems like tier 8 weapon leveling up using tier 5 mobs, which is I don't know if that's kind of OP. How about tier 6 in HCEs? You cannot, because it needs to be full loot PvP. So you cannot bring a 6.4 item in HCE and attune it or get it higher in terms of attunement because it's not a full loot PvP zone. Let's continue. That's a big question though.
Once you've collected enough attunement, you can return to the Artifact Foundry and add your first trait to the weapon.
Yes.
When doing so, you can select from 3 randomly generated traits.
Okay, so this is where the casino feel comes in. Because when you attune, you are going to use attunement points, and then you'll get 3 random stuff. Now, this is the ability change right here, or ability damage. Crowd control resistance, cast time reduction. Obviously, there are more. There are definitely more attributes there, or traits that are just going to be on random. Then if you roll the right abilities or right traits, then good. But if you don't, you'll have to re-roll and use more attunement and silver.
Traits to add to the weapon. If you're not happy with the result, you can replace the trait and get another roll. However, this will increase strain on the item, which we'll explain later.
The strain concept is actually very good. They thought about this really well, and I really like the strain concept.
Initially, your trait values will be quite low, but you can use your attunement to upgrade them. When upgrading, you roll for a random amount of power being added to your trait.
Okay, this is another one. You actually have a random chance of increasing your trait random value. So it's not linear. It's never linear, but you have a chance to increase your, let's say here, item power, but it's like a random number added to, well, the item power again.
Upgrading traits increases your item's legendary rating, and once high enough, allows you to add more traits to the item, which then, of course, can also be upgraded.
There you go. So this is up to 3 traits per weapon.
Each action taken on the weapon increases its strain, however, and with increased strain, the cost of further modifications go up.
And it goes up quite significantly the higher the strain is, and to a point where it's not even like worth it anymore.
This means you need to choose wisely which results to keep and how many times to try to upgrade, as eventually the amount of attunement and silver required for each action starts to give significant diminishing returns.
That is a very good concept right there, the diminishing returns for this legendary weapons. Because I've seen a lot of players, they keep on saying, this is OP, this is gonna be OP. This is like the worst change ever in Albion Online. I'm like, it will take a lot of fame farming and a lot of silver to actually get one weapon, one unique weapon, and you're not going to be immortal. If you lose that, either like you get cheesed, you get ganked, you get, I don't know, you disconnected, you lose that, you lose all of the silver. So I don't see it the same way as other players are saying that, oh, yes, this is going to be fully OP. Like, you can just blah, 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 blah. No, you need a lot of silver. You need a lot of fame. You need a lot of all of this to create one single weapon that you can lose. You can actually lose this weapon in full loot PvP, and you have to start over again. And yes, it has to be powerful enough for people to actually, you know what, say, I'm going to use 100 million silver on this item. I'm going to use a lot of fame. I'm going to grind this item in full loot PvP, especially like 6.4 and higher. I'm going to risk it all and have a powerful weapon. And then, yes, they have to be rewarded with a powerful weapon. It cannot be like, I'm going to use 100 million in this. I'm going to grind for 30 days to get the attunement. And let me get a mediocre-ish weapon. It doesn't make sense. It has to be a powerful weapon. So I don't really share the opinion of a lot of veteran players who keep on saying this is going to be OP. I don't think so. They did this legendary item exclusively for like veteran players. It is and will become a thing to achieve. And if it's easy to achieve, I feel like that like reduces the value of the thing. It's difficult to achieve. It's really powerful. That's why it's really difficult to achieve. And I think that's like the perfect balance. So that means there will be same weapons, but different traits. Like tier 4 could be 1 damage, other could be other movement speeds. Yes, so different traits. It will be difficult to inspect. I'm pretty sure they will have a version of this inspection where it shows the traits, like significant traits per se. Like they will show you the traits in like a quick glanceable information. Hopefully they do that. And you'll be able to see like, oh, this is an awakened weapon. It has like 10% more damage. So you plan accordingly. It is definitely, they put in a lot of effort into this development and only a handful of players are actually going to use it. I actually see your point. It's like putting in a lot of effort for like this small amount of players, which if you just think about it, it doesn't make sense. But if you look at it in a perspective that this is a thing that you need to attain, this is a thing that you want to grind towards. It's not going to be you play 1 month, you get a legendary item. It's not the case. You play like months and months and months. You grind a lot, you earn a lot of silver, you earn a lot of fame, and then you get a legendary item. It's like an end game content. So it's not going to be like everyone can do tier 5 group dungeons. It's going to be like, who can do tier 8 Avalonian dungeons? It's something to achieve. And I think that's why they called it legendary weapons. It is super, super, super rare. If we make it too common, it's not going to be deserving of the name legendary. You know what I mean? Everyone has it. And if everyone has it, there's nothing special about it. It's not perfect whatsoever. They have a specific goal for this, targeting very specific players, very small amount of players, and I think they implemented it well based on their plan. It's not going to be perfect for everyone. It's not going to satisfy everyone, absolutely. And again, this is still in development. They may still be able to change things, but in my opinion, personally for me, I think this system right now is okay. And I think some of the overreactions from veteran players saying this is going to be OP, they are basing it in the fact that you can just get 1 million attunement points clicking one button, right? If you need 1 million attunement points, you get 200 million fame, 200 million PvE fame. If you need 100,000, you need 20 million. If my math is right, 20 million PvE fame, and it's not really easy to get.
This point likely happens long before you've reached the maximum strength of all your traits, and you could push on, but progress becomes incredibly hard, and you really have to ask yourself, how far do you want to go?
Yes, how far do you want to go is the right question. And again, I think one of the things that a lot of players are missing is this is going to be one item. Spending billions of silver or even like hundreds of millions of silver for one item. Literally just one item. It will be powerful. It has to be powerful because it's only one item for like millions and millions of silver and a bunch of like playing time to get the attunement.
With this open-ended upgrade system, players have the opportunity to customize their 0.4 enchanted equipment to add a little more strength and versatility to their builds. Or they can really invest themselves in this feature and create a truly remarkable awakened weapon at a high cost of silver and time. But why would you do that? Well, for one, you get to play with a truly powerful weapon until somebody takes it away from you.
See, that is a very, very important point there. Until someone takes it away from you, it can be lost. And all of your progress will be lost if you died using it.
But you also get a chance to really change the world of Albion. Let me explain. As your weapon increases in legendary rating, its chance of being destroyed on death reduces. Instead, it gains a chance to vanish and enter the black market loot pool, eventually returning to a lucky adventurer as loot. The higher its rating, the more perpetual the weapon will become. As each item carries its creation history with it, players who loot such an item will be able to identify its creator and previous owners.
How cool is that?
Players who loot such an item...
How cool is this, actually? Alright? How cool is this? You actually get to loot, if it's like a truly high legendary rating weapon, you get to loot these weapons in chests, mob drops, right? Now, that also adds to the legendary part of this awakened weapons because you truly will have an item that was crafted by a player. You will see the crafter's name. You will see the awakened name. You will see what happened to this item. And you can actually see the timestamp. This is actually pretty cool, this timestamp over here. Because like, let's say Albion Online survives the next 5 years. You'll see a weapon crafted like 2023, awakened 2023, has like 10 other owners, right? Historical records. That is awesome. I don't know about you guys, but that got me really excited when I saw these timestamps. You can actually see when this was awakened, when the trait was added, and you know, it even says awakened item in Caerleon. It even shows you where it was awakened.
We'll be able to identify its creator and previous owners. What you do with that history is your own choice. Do you keep the item and add to the history yourself? Or do you contact the previous owner and offer to sell the item back to them? Or do you sell it to another player? If you do decide to trade it, note that you'll have to find a buyer using the trade chat, as awakened weapons cannot be traded on the marketplace.
Okay, so awakened weapons cannot be traded in the marketplace, which makes a lot of sense. Like, there's just so many factors that goes into how much it is worth, and there's no two items that are identical, so estimated value is basically a non-factor. It has to be player for player.
Also, while they will automatically reattune themselves when looted from chests or killed players, traded items will have to be reattuned for the new owner to benefit from its traits. So, if trading is challenging and crafting them isn't...
Okay, did you guys get that? If you get it from looting, from chests, you get the traits, and it's going to be attuned to you now. But if you kill someone as well, it will be reattuned to you. You will have the benefits of the traits. But if you trade it, it will have to be reattuned to benefit from traits.
Possible. What do crafters do? Well, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. Crafters can spend their focus on reducing the attunement cost required for rolling and upgrading traits. And they benefit from their focus cost reductions from crafting specializations.
That's actually perfect.
So, while you can't sit back in town and simply craft these items, you can still greatly benefit from the skills acquired as a crafter when creating them. As you can see, awakened weapons are quite a deep addition to the Albion sandbox.
Yes, it is.
And offer exciting new opportunities to explore. For us, they are another way for players to leave their mark in the world of Albion Online.
Exactly.
I hope you're as excited as we are to set out on a journey to awaken a weapon of true renown and to play with the possibilities they offer for your high-end builds. Stay tuned for our next Dev Talks, where we'll get to the core of the Wild Blood update, rare creature tracking, and the all-new shapeshifter weapons.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so that is it. What do you guys think? I am really excited about this this change. I think this is good. For newer players, this is not even going to be on your radar for the longest time. All right, this is almost exclusively for veteran players who have been playing the game for quite a while and has a lot of silver, has a lot of time to play the game for the PvE. And again, I believe you cannot use tomes. You cannot use those tier 4 tomes or any tomes at all to increase your attunement. You have to go out there and fame farm after awakening the weapon. I'm very excited about this. What do you guys what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comment section down below.